back on the red side this time, but of course some changes in the bans, taking out the Harry first.
All right, taking out the Harry. They want to predetermine what exactly the gold lane is going to start looking like, right? We do see, okay, Angela Chip, this is going to be fast. Yup, Loyi. This is where it gets interesting. What are the bans going to be? Last time, in game number 1, it was Arlott. And then we eventually saw it
Moskov
through Moskov. Yeah, Moskov was prioritized over the Natan.
Yeah, they banned, I think BIGETRON Beta banned Moskov, and then TNC Protein banned Natan.
Okay, so this is what we should expect here from the side of TNC at the very least. If we do get rid of the Natan, are they confident in playing? Yeah, they're confident in playing the Roger matchup into basically anything, even into the Moskov, right? I actually do want to see that matchup happen once more, right? BIGETRON Beta yesterday played something very similar where they had Moskov on their side up against Sumpak, who was playing the Roger, and both were doing decently well amongst each other until one turnaround event.
Yeah, we only saw this matchup once, which was Minerva against Valhalla very early on. Right? And that was like a, it's not even a Moskov win, it was actually even.
Pretty
true and throughout.
Yes. Who was it? Was it Dante? It was, I'll double check it a little bit.
It was Grant against...
Against
I don't remember.
It's not coming to me right now. It's not coming, but we'll check it in a little bit after we reconfirm a couple of things. One, Grok banned out very early on. They are that worried about Ben things making an impact and just being an absolute nuisance to the jungle.
But it does force TNC to make a couple of options, right? You want the Roger or you want the Arlott first? Or the Moskov. I think you take the Arlott anytime.
Yeah. Feels like the Arlott is going to be a little bit more effective here. That means it's going to be what? Moskov. Okay. They're confident in playing the Moskov into Roger matchup.
And then they pick Roger. I think they take Barats here, right?
Yeah, they definitely take Barats here, right? Right? BIGETRON? I mean, it was a fast draft until this very moment here, so this could be pivotal for them.
If you don't take Barats, there's only Fredrin left, but if you take Fredrin...
I mean, there's also Matilda, to be fair.
Yeah, so take Barats.
Okay. Take Barats.
If there's I think they're not worried about Matilda going over to TNC because there's lesser incentive for them to go Matilda.
Yeah, that's true. They do have less incentive to do that. It's more incentivized for BTR Beta to pick it up for themselves, especially with the Barats, who is generally not as mobile overall. Do they just play Fredrin at this point of time, or do they want something a little bit faster, right? Do they want like an assassin to be able to jump into that back line, don't play? I mean, so far we've seen TNC Pro actually just play for the earlier stages of the game. I wouldn't be too surprised if they do decide to pick up something like Ling, for an example, and then start attacking the side lanes whenever they make a mistake, or at the very least be in position to posture for it. But no, Fredrin gets locked in. 6 more seconds left.
Or do you take the mid lane? I think they take the Novaria. It's a very, very standard draft.
Okay. Looks like they're doing a little bit of a repeat here. And I think that TNC, whether it's Roger or not, doesn't really matter to them, right? I think they need something that actually scales in this matchup against the Moskov while still doing relatively okay. Which a number of things could actually do that, to be fair.
I think if you're BIGETRON Beta, you could take your mid lane here, and then you ban out the Claude. Ban the Claude, and then probably... who else? I don't think Esma is a priority, but you can... Yeah, I think the Claude definitely has to go.
Do they want to consider banning out the Lolita as well?
Actually,
right? Now that I think about it, it's like, wait a minute. Lolita hasn't been touched either way. Florin gets locked in. Okay, this is starting to look like the composition, a little bit more from yesterday. Now the second phase starts coming through, and I think that TNC Pro, they've got a decent amount of answers to this, except for that Florin in the later stages.
So you banned the Lolita, so good call. They banned the Lolita. So, do they want to force ban things to go on the Arlott?
They still have Yuzong, to be fair. So if they give Arlott over, they can start playing a little bit more dive heavy, and then it'd be pretty safe to lock in the Roger, assuming that BTR doesn't ban it out.
You have to find a way to protect the Florin also.
I think that's up to Hatred, right? He needs to be able to kind of like snipe away and slowly chip away at Florin as consistently as possible to keep her heal constantly on cooldown. But then again, I mean, it's a tough margin to break, right? Because that heal, the base numbers for it is so much higher.
Do you want to make friends with Nana?
Nana ban.
So they're worried about mid-prio? Is that it? Or they're worried about their team fights?
BIGETRON really gonna open marksman options? I guess if they want to keep on ban, they can ban Yuzhong here. Is there an angle to... With the Florian, I think there might be an angle to flex the Barats to XP.
That's what I'm thinking about as well. But then what's a better jungle pick at this point, right? If they want to find a secondary win condition, throwing it into the jungle might not be a bad idea, but Assassins generally just don't do that well against the Arlet specifically.
Alpha? I feel like it's an MPL MY thing.
yeah. This is the MPL MY talk coming out of us real quick. I don't think it's too bad either way. Oh, they banned out the Masha. I respect it. I respect it.
So clearly, it's all for Zyf. All for Zyf. It's all to keep him safe.
If they're banning out the Nana, do they also want to get rid of the Aurora as well? They kind of do the same things, except one has a lot more CC and can apply it more reliably than the Nana.
But then where we see Aurora?
No,
so they ban the farm.
They can ban out the farmers. Because again, it's about the struggle for who finds priority in the mid lane without having to call too many resources. And I think for BIGETRON Beta right now, because TNC can flex around where this Arlet is going to show up, they could still basically play the Eden if they wanted to.
So they take Yuzhong.
Nice.
Barrage jungle confirmed. I think there could be a Vexana mid angle for BTR Beta.
Yes. Who do they combo it with? Whoever gets basically eaten by the... Yeah. I see it. Good possibility. That's a good possibility. But I think that TNC Pro should be able to respond with their own like heavy wave manipulation focused roamer, if that's the case. Ruby...
You take the Edith again? Because assuming that hits is going to be on the Arlet.
That's what I'm thinking. It's either I would like to see a hard setter like the Kufra, but it's too all in, right? I think the counter engage from BTR Beta is also noteworthy. Oh, Melissa, interesting. So now the Yuzhong cannot get on top of the back line at all, especially with the go away. Same goes for the Barats at the same time, but most of the time Matilda is not going to be that, Melissa isn't going to be that close enough to get hit by the Daytona's welcome. Pretty interesting solution here.
You do have a slightly easier way to poke out the Moskov in lane also.
That's fair.
I suppose the trades, you do have a way to trade with the Moskov. Lilia final pick for BIGETRON Beta.
All right, very more neutral draft from both sides here. I think, you know, this is not a perfect draft coming out from TNC, but it's heavily reliant on the side laners actually being able to not only win out, but maintain control over it. They're not strong when it comes down to like hard pushing. Melissa is not known to a hard push. Same goes for their EXP laner as well, especially when you're on that Arlet too. Especially when you are on that CC. Pushing power isn't your #1 thing. It's about how you trade, and it's about how does TNC Pro Team utilize the big three, right? Their mid, support, and as well as jungle to affect the motions of BIGETRON Beta's map presence.
Yeah, whereas for BIGETRON Beta, they definitely have the ability to accelerate the pace of the game. If the early game goes well for them, you have this Florian. It's going to make the lives of TNC Pro Team slightly harder. We just have to see if BIGETRON Beta can complete this series with the win. Set into game number 3, TNC Pro Team, blue side, BIGETRON Beta, red.
This is match point here for either one of these teams. Whoever loses goes down into the 0-1, or technically the 1-1 bracket of the Swiss rounds. They begin this, they're going to be starting on mirrored sides of the map. Both on purple side, they're going to be ending up on opposite sides, which means that Ryzen should technically be showing up by the gold lane. I think if I saw that correctly, and then should be ending up EXP. Yes.
Yeah, I think Benting's already found Finn very early in the jungle. That's going to force Finn away. Benting's getting to set up the gold crab. And start to harass Zyf if he can.
Nomad's got to be a little careful with the amount of life he has. He wants to hit level 2 before he looks for an all-in against Zyf. So if Zyf makes a mistake dashing forward, especially when he has Bloom on him without the on-hit effect, it's Gotta be real careful here. Nomad still has its Inspire since we see Xive just trying to skew the lane in his favor with a quick level 1 trade.
And that's why we saw Bentings kind of neutralize it with the early rotation to bot. Lich will show up top, and that's going to give Narashi a way better lane state. Just freezing the wave and making sure the hit doesn't get remotely close to take that experience. But in return, this Florin is suffering.
Yeah, Finn, he's locked in this lane. It's very difficult for him to actually rotate out safely, especially since Ryzen. And let's not forget, Bentings especially just keeping tabs.
And I like Xive's response, right? Every time Nomad tries to on-in him, you just push him away. Push him away with the Spirit Misery, so he cannot attack the Muddles.
Just to making sure that he's really, really annoying here, right? Look at wow, okay, all right. Yeah, we're seeing a different side of BIGETRON Beta. Really splitting up the resources, right? 3 and 2.
Now it's about the first turtle. Bentings not even close to 4, so at least there's no setter for TNC Pro Team. Nomad trying to trade with Xive. Xive willingly walking up.
Oh no. If
already winning the trade.
Oh, had he just hit level 4 there, that would have been a guaranteed kill. He could still throw the spear down the lane against Matilda, but no, doesn't find it. And Turtle will fall into the hands of Lynch. That's going to be first Turtle for BIGETRON Beta.
They even clear out the mid wave. Ryzen wants to go for an invade, but BIGETRON Beta, they have backup. So this invade will not be successful.
Can't do much about it. Can't do much about it since Bentings is on the opposite side of the map. That's another river crab for Xive. Again, I'm paying a lot of attention to Xive in his current lane state because, again, it seems like BIGETRON Beta are just making a lot of decisions around him. But this time around, at least they are considerate towards Narashi.
Xive is fighting with Inspire off cooldown. No Daytona's welcome though. Lynch did try to prompt it, or preempt it, but didn't find an angle to use it.
At least Ryzen was able to win out on that Little Wanderer fight. Now catching back up in some EXP at the very least, and heads. This is kind of rough for him. Now that Narashi is a full level, he can actively trade.
Yeah. Having a way better game compared to the previous one.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Dan QT has been taking a lot of punishment, but so much punishment as a matter of fact.
Still holding on to the black shoes. Should be able to go for a recall.
Interesting. So TNC Pro Team, they're just chipping away at Dan, and whenever they do so, they start making their way into enemy jungle and start scouting out for some free resources to steal away from BIGETRON Beta, right? Because the lane states haven't changed too much between Nomad and as well as Heads, right? On the opposite side, Xive and as well as Narashi are completely fine with the current lane states as long as it maintains this way.
Nomad did get the gold crab. That should equalize. Well, that should allow him to catch up in terms of net worth just by a bit. But still, Xive, he is half a level ahead. Almost a full level ahead, in fact.
Yeah, I mean, that early recall coming in from Nomad, he ended up losing 2 minions off of it. And now I think that's a total of, like, what, 2 River Crabs to 1 in favor of Xive in that lane itself. Oh, wow.
Again, the Nexus is going to force the Black Shoe out, but Daytona's welcome. Use. Ryzen, he's going to have Bentings to take the aggro to protect Ryzen, but still Ryzen will go down. First blood for Dan QT.
Oh, a mistake coming in from Ryzen. He should not have dashed back in. He saw Dan QT use the black shoes and he thought, maybe I could set up my combo points to get a fat ultimate here. Doesn't achieve it, and they lose the turtle because of it.
And the gold laners went on another Inspire trade, both for the battle spells, again, on cooldown. This time Bentings will be at the bottom side, but of course for BIGETRON Beta, Xive has his own backup in the form of Finn. He has the Bloom available. So in fact, BIGETRON Beta, they're going to be able to easily shove Nomad away. Yeah,
the worst part about this lane, especially from Nomad's POV, is that even though he is trading equally in terms of like battle spell cooldowns, Xive wins out at the end as soon as Finn shows up to top him up for the amount of life lost in the lane. So these trades technically is just paying credit, right, for the future, putting yourself in a life deficit to eventually pay it back later down the line.
Even for, we're looking at what, almost 6,000 gold advantage for Xive. Purple buff stolen by Lynch. Had to commit the red trade to do it, but it will be back up for the next turtle. And Xive's even got the window to recall because he shoved the wave so fast.
Yeah, I mean, in comparison to Nomad, I think Nomad, he needs to focus on these trades a little bit more, but Zive not making it easy, and he has the advantage. Oh!
Dan QT and Finn, Astral Echo, 3-man ping, Dan QT able to get the Black Shoes off in time. With the help of Lynch again, the Daytona's welcome. Now the spear connects, and Zive easily joins the fight. The kill goes with the Lynch.
Instantly, the global presence from that Spear of Destruction, they've got to be more aware of it as Bloom has been given over to Zive. And this time round, because they're able to pull away pressure from Zive, because they basically brick-walled him, they're allowed to get the tier 1 on top side, unlocking their Yutong. So this is going really well for BIGETRON Beta.
They can even unlock this bottom lane. As for Nomad, he can't even walk up, so Zive, just literal free lane thus far.
Lynch is taking away as many neutral camps as possible. Sorry, camps nearest to No Man's Land. 2v1 on top side.
By Narashi. Black Dragon form committed. That is just enough for Narashi to get away.
Yeah, I bet things didn't want to actually go for the Vengeance because he would have procced the shot residue, making it more difficult for...
Oh, it's gonna flicker. Actually, take the Petrify in the face. Ben things might end up going down. Use the Vengeance. The Cannon Minion takes aggro a little bit, but the shot residue, the Dragon Tail is just enough. Spirit Destruction does miss, but BIGETRON Beta, full control of this game. Hits forced away. Astral Echo. 3-man detected. The TNC still want to contest this though. The Turtle is not going to be fully committed, and now Daytona's welcome will be used. They're going to control Ryzen, take the Turtle, take Ryzen's life. BIGETRON Beta easily wins out the fight.
These neutral fights are impossible for TNC Pro Team to actually win, especially in a 4v5 type situation here, right? They need Nomad to scale a little bit faster because, yes, Lynch is kind of immobile as soon as he swallows Ryzen, right? But that's perfect. It allows Muddles to be put behind Lynch, and then BIGETRON Beta can't walk up to follow up with enough damage onto Ryzen to take him out in one fell swoop. And that's the main plan for TNC Pro. But so far, BTR have just been faster.
Oh, the spear actually canceled the final slash. Now Ben Things is in a very awkward position.
You see Fredrin walking up. He's going to notice that his purple is missing. He's going to walk away. He's going to head back to the orange side of the map.
Yeah, good Star Shadow from Hatred to spot the bush. Again, you have Finn, you have Florin, and that's the flicker from Hatred.
Yeah, he can't afford to get caught right now, right? He's currently 0-0, but he is the highest damage in the current leaderboards. He's consistently poking out his opponents, but not enough when Florin is just topping up, just the combat medic of the team doing some big work for BIGETRON Beta to maintain this type of pressure.
Yeah, will be BIGETRON Beta taking the first tier 2 on top side. That can allow them to set up for the next Lord, spawning in half an hour in the bottom lane, in the bottom end of the map. 4-0 so far in terms of kill. BIGETRON Beta have not let TNC Pro Team get anything.
I mean, they're locked in. They're locked in for the win. They want to be able to get that 4 best of 3 series win to move on into the challenge season as early as possible. TNC Pro, they're not making it easy, of course, but definitely, they definitely are more confident in making these individual plays, which so far have been punished.
Man, Bentings went for the conceal, but ended up losing half his health bar to the piercing damage. They didn't even land his ult.
How did he set this up? I don't even think they can actually walk up to this Lord, right? Wait, let me just double check the items here from Nomad specifically. Does he have the golden staff? No, he's just a little bit off from that golden staff in comparison to Zive, who just finished the Trinity build.
Didn't even have boots, right? He went for extra armor. Really realizing that it's so hard to man-fight BIGETRON Beta. I mean, how does Ryzen walk up? I think if you walk up, they can just burst you.
Well, he has to walk up as if his team is behind him, right? That's why he's playing this... Wait.
Final slash, forcing out Purify. That's a start. BIGETRON Beta, they can actually reset this Lord if they want to. Not gonna let it reset. No rush.
Good reset. Good reset. There's a slow push down on bottom side that TNC Pro have to respond to, and that's why they're just going back and forth consistently. BIGETRON Beta, they hard shove mid lane, and now they're going to look for the rush here and instigate a fight.
If they get this, that top inhibitor might go down. Black Dragon form committed from BIGETRON Beta. Looking for info to force TNC Pro Team away. Lord is already in the red zone. BIGETRON Beta just stonewalling this. The Melissa damage is showing through with the Muddles, but they're gonna lose. The Petrify Zive is in the back with the Spirit Destruction. finding hatred already.
Oh, the super play again from Zymes, bypassing the entire front line, getting access into the back line. Despite the go away from me, doesn't matter. If I'm behind you, you have no choice.
TNC Pro completely blindsided by that ult, and BIGETRON Beta finding the big opening. Then things, he shouldn't survive this,
no.
dashes back into the Furious Dive, and that gives out his life. And this is a free Lord for BIGETRON Beta.
Oh, they're gonna rush this down, no problem. Dan QT helping out his brother Lynch. Just make sure that this Lord ends up. Okay, it's getting a little worrisome. Finn nearby just in case, but this is a pretty good scenario for BIGETRON Beta. They're 9K ahead after 2 games of giving up the early game. Now on the 11th minute, they are actually putting the hurt on the TNC Pro team.
Still flawless in this game. And how did Zai bypass everyone? Where's the ult?
Let's find out right here, right? He's by Pixel Brush. He throws it, it lands, and it connects.
Oh.
The shadow ended up so far behind him. So, wow, it hit, surprisingly enough, it hit Ryzen, but it sent the shadow even further beyond.
Best case scenario. That's one way to get to the back. Mid inhibitor down, it gets stunned off, and that is going to be Benting's dead. All inhibitors on the threat, 2 already taken out. The bottom wave has been cleared out by BIGETRON Beta. They have the man advantage. Dan QT willingly tanks out his damage side. He just dives under the crystal to look for the kill onto Nomad. The superior goal laner in this game, given room to do whatever he wants to do. The Purify ain't gonna do much for his Ryzen. He's gonna soak out as much damage as possible. Narashi is dancing in front of their